If a person is experiencing a drug overdose, they need immediate medical treatment. And we're assuming that they're going to be coherent enough to push the buttons and properly access what they need with an input code. And if you've ever seen anyone who's overdosing, they're not really functioning at 100%. It makes me nervous about young kids and college-age students who are experimenting with drugs. I'm worried that they're going to use this vending machine as a safety net for their parties, thinking I can do XYZ because I have this as a backup. That makes me nervous. I do think that we need to solve the bigger issue in our community. My last concern is that it is by the YMCA in Neenah. At least one of the machines is. I'm concerned about a cute little kid leaving swim class or karate who wants a couple crackers because they're hungry and mom hasn't picked them up yet, that they're going to be getting a snack while someone else's sister is overdosing. That makes me nervous.
Also, this vending machine is gonna be across from the YMCA. And that's where all the kids, they hang out in the front, this is a location that's around where younger kids are. So I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not comfortable with this whole entire thing just because I've heard from the sheriff, I've heard from the ME, I've heard from everyone, and I will absolutely not vote for this because I think if anything, I'd rather see this money go towards solutions, or I want to see this kind of money go more towards solving the actual root of the problem, not putting a Band-Aid on it. That's what I want, but that's my opinion. And I'm only one on this board, so.
So the funds that are being provided for this are specific for this purpose. If we don't take advantage of them, they'll just go somewhere else. And, vending machines are, one of many strategies that are being employed to help reduce, overdoses and address substance use altogether. So it's part of a comprehensive, package of interventions that we hope will help reduce deaths in our community.
Yes, you said it will save lives, overdoses, but you don't tell us that it also enable people to feel like drug use is safer. So it'll also create this.
I appreciate that point. I believe it's a bit of a myth that that having Narcan available encourages people to engage in riskier behaviors or attempt to do overdoses and try to get recovered from. There really is no evidence to support that people attempt to overdose because they have Narcan present. Most people die because they're alone and Narcan isn't present.
That wasn't my point. My point was that people feel safer doing drugs if they have this false security.
We certainly recommend that if somebody is using a substance, that they don't do it alone. And that if there is a potential for an opioid overdose, that Narcan is present. So we're not encouraging behavior. People are they're not gonna not engage in their behaviors just because, Narcan isn't there. Narcan is there to, reverse an overdose. That may not be successful. It may not be enough. It can, in some cases, be enough. It may also be enough for, a time frame to help a person survive until EMS arrives. And hopefully, that's the other thing too, is that we want people to call EMS when there is an overdose and, people die because EMS isn't called.
This is a big deal. This is putting vending machines in our communities. That's what I would like to have seen. It is across from the Y. The Y is right there. So yeah, it does bother me. I don't want little kids who've not been exposed to be exposed continuously. They're already exposed enough. I mean, I have a child. I don't want to see that.
really struggling with this personally. Isn't this really a larger issue that goes to our open border policy, drugs flowing into this country unabated? Don't we need to educate our citizens on this so that they can get to a state of sobriety and solve this issue in the mind of each person in this country, rather than try to apply a Band-Aid solution to this? I am all in favor of the recovery options that we have in this community. But to me, this is really just a feel-good solution that plays well with the public and looks good for the politicians. You know, I've had a number of physicians that have come to me, and I mean, in memorandums, and also other medical professionals that have been in favor of this. But I ask myself now, if these machines are legal, why don't we see them on every street corner? Why don't we see them in front of our local hospitals? Why don't we see them in front of every doctor's clinic? I'll tell you why, because they don't want these machines in front of their place where they do business. They don't want, you know, to have the traffic to these machines where they're dealing with clients that don't use drugs. And I'm sorry, you know, I recognize a great problem here. But I think, you know, the solution to this has to come from within each and every one of us. Thank you.